Shaila, for your very kind words. I hope you all have enjoyed the very first session and have got much insightful presentations of my scholars as well. Now, on your demand, I am just going to present one of my papers which recently I have presented in Turkey, Istanbul, in this LASI conference. And the topic is Realia, an effective tool for improving young learners' vocabulary skills. Because my research work, mostly my research work is based on this lexicon and the vocabulary. Normally I quote a well-known saying of educationist A.G. Gibson, who once said, if you want to get mastery over any language, you should have 100% command over its accent or the pronunciation, 90% over its grammar, and 10% over its vocabulary. So, keeping in view that its weightage is just 10%, that is the neglected area. But I have worked on that because I am working as a teacher trainer, and a teacher more than 2 decades. So I have noticed and requested my trainer teachers to teach the students with the help of such vocabulary skills. If you make them uploaded and upgraded with vocab items, then definitely they will going to utter whatever is coming in their mind. Because we are residing in this Pakistani scenario where normally our students, they think first in their L1, then they try to translate it in their L2. And normally the bilingual method of teaching also depicts that as well. So, Realia once again, I would like to start it with the well-known saying of Confucius, which she quoted because she had my student as well. He said, just tell me, I forget. Show me something, I remember. And involve me, I understand. Let's suppose there is a lot of objects and the things which you can't explain with the words, with 1 word or the 2 words. At that time, what you have to do? That is, the teacher should arrange some sort of the objects and then he should bring in the class and then brief his students, especially the young learners, because they are associated with that. Right? There are a lot of things, other objects like the animals, big animals. How can you bring them? Bring the object and show to your students and tell them. In this way they will learn. And again, the aim is the same one. I don't want to read it out over there. In my point of view, we are residing in Pakistan. So, the person who is possessing good communication skills, whether they are oral or written, is expected and respected everywhere. And the English language teachers who is coming in the class, the students are just putting their gaze at him, in which way he is going to transfer his communication skills to us. It is very difficult for the English language teachers because you cannot put your tongue into their mouth. That is very difficult. So there are some ways. As I have been saying that English has become the dire need of this age, it is going to be accepted and getting the status of international language, science and technology as well. Then what we should do? I think the English language teacher should design their work, curriculum and syllabi and their lesson plans in such an attractive and interesting way that they should try to get their students' attention at the very outset. In this way they will be going to learning and they will be definitely be motivated. And one thing more, the teachers at the primary level, they should be excellent and the trained teachers. They should not be the horrified. They should be very loving. They should be very caring. Right? So these are the points which are going to be neglected nowadays. What is Realia? Look at that. The real life objects. This is the Realia. You have to bring the things, but by just telling them with the 100 or the 1000 words, bring the things, bring the objects along and show them. Beta, what is this? They will tell you the name. They will guess the name. In this way you can play with them like that. Instead of elephant, because they haven't seen what is elephant. You should show them. You should tell them. Right? I don't have to read all the things, just you have to see. What is its impact? Look at that. Again and again I am telling, it is used to connect the learners with the key focal points by allowing tactile and multi-dimensional connection between the material, what they have already learned, and the things of your lesson at that time. Suppose you had to teach your students about the animals. They had visited the zoo before. If you bring that, you don't have to tell the name. Someone may tell you its name. This is monkey, this is elephant, this is lion, this is tiger. So you are gathering their ideas. You are making the connection. You are making it very lively, student-centered as well. Rather than coming in the class and teaching them, or just doing the book reading. This is not a way. Because teaching or learning second language itself is very hectic and boring. So you have to create some sort of interest among your learners. What is the vocabulary? That is the soul and essence of a language. This is the core of a language. Vocabulary, on the behalf of vocabulary, you communicate. You have a lot of things floundering about in your mind, but you can't express them with the help of your tongue. Why? Because you don't know the exact literal vocabulary or the word of that particular thing. So that is the soul of that. Your grammar work and your pronunciation, they are of some other priority. But first priority, you have to give this neglected area, that is the vocabulary. You have to improve their vocabulary first, then you should expect and make them communicative. That is the stock of the words used in a language. How many words they are going to write, how many words they are going to learn, and in how many ways they are going to clarify their concepts. This is the main thing. You have to clarify their concepts with the help of this realia and the real objects. Right? And these are the words, basically words are the instruments and tools of your thoughts. You show a picture, ask the student to make a story of that. Whatever the wording he or she is using, basically they are reflecting their mindset. The picture is the same, but its depiction is different. Right? So that is the backbone of any language, and a series of words in a foreign language to express the meanings as well. What is the scope of the vocabulary? My dear, that is the central to the language learning and the teaching as well. You have to promise with me on the daily basis, you should do one thing. 10 words you have to teach your students based on different activities. 10 you have to teach, get more than 10 from them. They will tell you. Let's suppose you should tell the student, tomorrow I will teach you about the vegetables, which are easier one. They will tell you, they will get some sort of that you have to assign this homework. They will have to discuss with their parents or their so-called tuition wali baji, and when they will come to you, they will have a lot of words and the diction along. And you normally, if you think that these vegetables are not used in their daily life, you have to bring their objects. Because one of the participants was telling about here passive and active vocabulary. So passive is that one which is just sleeping in our minds. You have to just wake them up with the help of objects and the activities as well. So that is vocabulary has its very main goal and the impact as well. If I talk about the significance everywhere, if you work on anything, that will be helpful for your students. First, you, I think, should think about the benefits of your students. If you are going to give them some benefits, definitely your work will be a good, I think, a lesson for your upcoming teachers. It will be helpful for them. And when both are getting the benefits, definitely their number of students will be increased in your institute. That will be beneficial for the school as well. They are getting more and more admissions. Because if a teacher is good one, he is very convincing, he is very competent, he can impart in a very excellent way, then definitely the people will chase him or her just because of his teaching, not of himself. This is your teaching which distinguishes you. Over here, a lot of presenters came here and they were giving their presentation. But whose presentation did you enjoy? You know it very well. We don't have to explain. So you should, whenever in any class you go, you should give them the such sort of the impression that they should remember you by forever. Ask their teacher to teach us this thing, to clarify us this thing. This is the way. These are my objectives, just to identify the advantages and the disadvantages of the Realia, these real life objects. Main object. If the teacher can't produce, make, purchase or bring such things in the class, what should be done at that time? What is your answer of this question? I said one thing, teacher himself is an aviator. He should start teaching the parts of body. What is this? What is this? What is this? That's enough. If you can't bring anything along, you have to teach them in this way. Because everything lies with the teacher. How well he teaches them. This is the main and the core object of your, I think, teaching. To state the ways where the idea could be applied as a methodological tool. Most of you are the heads of the institutes. You should try to use it, especially at this junior level. You should try to bring some sort of the things even in their class. Then you will see that how well they remember them, even memorize it, their names, their spells, and ask the teachers to give them some sort of the missing the letters just to make their spellings more easier. Right? Are you enjoying?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. That was my hypothesis because that was based on the experimental type of research. I had designed a pre-test and the post-test for the students. Before making their two groups, dividing them into two groups, like the control group and the experimental group, I just got their test, and the test was of the same difficulty. Then on the behalf of their work, in the post-test they were just doing their work, that was enough. But in the pre-test, but after dividing them in the groups, I had been teaching them with the help of this Realia, getting the permission of the school. Those students who were with me, as in the experimental group, I had been teaching them with the help of this Realia, they had improved in their post-test. But those students who were in their controlled group, they were be studying and they were having the equal level of their understanding. They were not improved. So that was improved by the end of my study, that Realia should be used to make the difference between their understanding. And these were my research questions. I don't have to go through them. You have to just really see. That is the literature review. As one of my participants was telling, without grammar, very little can be conveyed. Without vocabulary, nothing can be conveyed. Let's suppose you want to go. You don't know what I have to say. Right? Like over here, I just want to tell you a very good joke. A person was traveling in Saudi Arabia and he just wanted to guide the driver that we have to go straight. And he said, "Idina siratul mustaqim." Right? So one of the lady came over here, Nadia. She was telling about the learning style because she is teaching to the special students. So they have to teach them what is this language?
Sign language.
Sign language. So if you don't know the vocabulary, then you will have to use the sign language. So then you become a special person. Is it clear? This is the impact of vocabulary. How well you should know that. Just 50 students and 20 teachers. They are always with me. Some of them are you. I work with them. I love my work and my students as well. Especially the competent students. They make a special place in my heart. I just wanted to get their experiences. One of them is Miss Sakina. She has been working and studying with me for 5 to 6 years. I have observed her teaching style, her presentation style, and I appreciate it. Because you gave your lesson plan in IU even. I was there for your workshop. She wanted to teach about the colors. She brought the, I think, flag of Pakistan and also some sweets. So this is the way. Teaching to children and teaching to babas, that is very difficult. Adult teaching and kids teaching is different. Teenaging teaching, that is very easy. Teaching to these people, adults teaching, because they are already trained and they are not the blank papers. They are having some colors on that, whether they are faded colors or not. But they are not in an accepting way. While the persons who are in the teenaging, they accept whatever you are telling. They will just going to consume it. But at this level, they can't consume because they are having the seeing eyes. They are having some experience, whether it is good or bad. First, they should make the connection between their understanding with you. Then they will accept and use your methods as well. Right? Again, I have told you it was experimental, quantitative research approach was, and the stratified random sampling was done, and these are the tools which normally we all have used. Because we are doing the classroom research. This research is based on the experimental approach. Because we are having different problems. Wherever you find that problems, you need the group. You have to discuss that group. There comes some solution of those problems. Then definitely it comes under your quantitative research and under this experimental type of research. So we have to use that. But without involving the teachers, you can't explain anything. You should involve the teacher. You should get their viewpoints and experience and potential and capability as well. You will get it that by getting their opinions in the form of questionnaire. And that is the result of my pre and post test. What were the findings? I don't have to go over there. I'm just telling you. Findings are again and again same. You are English language teachers. You try to improve yourself as an excellent English language teacher. How? Have good command over grammar and then on your pronunciation. As I was telling, you must be not close to the native speakers. You must have native accent. That is very easy nowadays. I can even email you different soft material in the soft form, listening practice. It will, I think, fix your jaws and mouth and your ear training. It is necessary. No books can transfer you. You don't have to consult the dictionaries. You just have to listen and try to copy that. In this way, you can improve. Again, the same suggestions. If you are teaching English language course in any institute, you should have the language labs. Without the labs, you can't get the attention of your learners. I say normally to the students, my teacher students who are the adults one, in some training sessions, you have to attract the attention of your students by your dressing and impress them through your addressing. Now everything is in your hand. You should have an individual personality. I have to learn from this teacher. The teacher came over here, he was well dressed and so and so. When he started communicating, he was reflecting his album. His accent was not good. All the personality impression is down. You should maintain that impression in the form of your good accent. When you communicate, you have just not impressing the people. When you communicate, you are getting them involved in you. They will listen to you. Otherwise, they will just playing at the back. Right? And these were some references from which I got the help, and thanks for your patience. Very good patience. And any questions, please?
It was very good, very informative.
Any questions?